welcome to my kitchen. Well, this corner of my kitchen anyway, but you know, welcome to my kitchen. So today I'm finally going to show you one of my favourite vegan sweet recipes, and this is actually probably one of the first vegan recipes that I learned because, well, back when I became a vegan, I used to want to eat chocolate on the daily, and so it was very important for me to come up with a recipe that would provide me with said chocolate, because back then, and sometimes now depending on where you are, it can be pretty difficult to get hold of nice vegan chocolate other than just a dark bar of chocolate. And so even though this is one of the first recipes that I picked up, it's actually probably one of my most used recipes as well, so I hope you like it, and if you do decide to make them yourself, let me know how you get on and if you like them, because this recipe is my pride and joy. It's not really, I mean, like Luca, my dog, he's probably my pride and joy, but just saying, I like this recipe, so you know, I hope you do too. And that's enough patter for the intro, I think. Let's begin. So to make the biscuits themselves, you're going to need flour, oats and sugar, and then whatever vegan spread that you like to use. I use Pure, but they have different varieties of this alone which will work just as well. But of course you can just use whatever comes handy to you. Basically, as long as it's not made from animal fats, you're good. And then to make them all chocolatey afterwards, you're just going to want to take your favourite dark vegan chocolate. I find that the dark chocolate really works nicely with this recipe. But we're going to put this beautiful thing to one side for now because first we need to make the biscuits. So first you're going to want to add your oats. Brown sugar. I've only ever used brown demerara sugar with this recipe. You can be a maverick though and use whatever kind of sugar you want. All I will suggest is that you stay away from white bleach sugar. Whole wheat self-raising flour. I didn't actually use whole wheat self-raising flour when I first made it. I just used bleached flour, but I've since learnt the error of my ways. And then your vegan spread of choice. And then making sure you've got clean hands first. You're then going to need to mix this up. You can do with a spoon, but really it's just much quicker to get in there and do it with your hands. Just make sure your hands are good and clean before. And now this is all mixed up, you're then going to want to make little patties of these things. Now I find taking a heaped tablespoon is about the measure of a good biscuit, and then dump it straight onto your hand because we're going to need to make these into biscuit shapes. Because the ingredients is really bitty, you're going to need to make sure these are properly moulded beforehand. So roll them up into balls and then just pat them down with the palm of your hands, tidying up the edges as you go. And then once you've made them into a perfect little biscuit shape, you're just going to want to then transfer them onto a tray which has been greased and then dusted with flour, and that is basically just spreading the vegan spread over the tray and then just dusting it with the whole wheat flour that you use. And this is really just going to make sure that they don't stick, because these really do like to stick. Even if you're using a non-stick tray, it's probably for the best that you just do this. And then once you've got them laid out in a pretty little line, you are then going to want to pop them in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes, taking them out to flip them over and then putting them back in again for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then you're going to have yourself some vegan cookies. Now I've left these to cool for a while because obviously we're going to be putting chocolate on them, but I would recommend that you perhaps do just make extra up to leave without chocolate on, because they are really nice without, and they come in really handy as a quick snack because they're obviously packed with oats. You've got the sugar in there as well, so it's a good kick, and they keep for a pretty good time too. But you want the chocolate ones, don't you? It's okay, I won't judge. And so to accomplish this, melt down your bar of chocolate and then make sure you dunk each of them in. You can do just one side if you like, but I like to do both sides. And then you want to lay them out on a flat tray that will fit in your fridge, and you want to make sure that this tray is covered in either kitchen foil or cling film or that cooking parchment paper, I think it's called. I'm not too sure. Despite what this video might lead you to believe, I don't actually know what I'm doing most of the time. And then you just want to leave them in your fridge to set for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then by the power of the internet, Grayskull, and me just making some earlier, we have chocolate bickies, which are melting, which, yeah, by the way, these melt, so I recommend actually storing these in your fridge. I don't suggest that you cutely put them in a cookie jar or something, because that cookie jar ain't gonna look too cute. I'll obviously leave a full recipe down in the description so that you can check it out if you want to try it for yourself. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go spend a bit of quality time with my biscuits. Bye!